Okay, in this video, we're going to solve this problem right here, and we're going to use the Gauss-Jordan Elimination method. And so let's begin. Now, in the description box of this video, I go more in depth on using this method. Here, I'm somewhat assuming that you know how to use this method, but you want more practice. And so let's begin. So first, let's rewrite this using matrix form. So we take the coefficients. So 6, 1, negative 3, 2. So 6, 1, negative 3, 2. Dash, dash, dash. Keep our 6 and 7. Now with this method, our objective is to have this diagonal as 1 and this diagonal as 0. And when we achieve this goal, then whatever number here, it would represent x, and whatever number here would represent y. And in order to kind of achieve this goal, we have to use row operations. And so it's kind of like a puzzle. I'm just going to copy this piece right now. 6, 1, negative 3, 2, dash, 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 6, 7. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to multiply this entire row by 2. So I'm going to call it 2 row 1. And in doing so, I get 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2, dash, dash, dash. 6 times 2 is 12. This row remains the same, negative 3, 2, 7. Let me explain why I did that. And so this method is like the elimination method, so we want to cancel things out. And so by multiplying this whole row by 2, I get this to be 2 and I get this to be 2. And we want this piece to be 0. And so the next step would be take row 1 but subtract row 2. So by doing that, I'm going to get 2 minus 2, which will be a 0 right here. Another thing to quickly mention is, like, why can we do 2 row 1? If you notice, I'm multiplying this piece by 2, this piece by 2, but also to the right of the equal sign by 2. Okay, so continuing on, so row 1 minus row 2. So 12 minus 3 will give us 15. Likewise, 2 minus 2 would give us 0, dash, dash, dash. 12 minus 7 will give us 5. This row remains the same, negative 3, 2, 7. So if you notice, we're one step closer. This piece right here is 0. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this row and I'm going to multiply it by 5. I'm doing this because I want this piece to be negative 15. So the first row remains the same, so 15, 0, dash, 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 5. Negative 3 times 5 will give us negative 15. 2 times 5 is 10. 7 times 5 is 35. Now let me go ahead and rewrite it over here. Now what I'm going to do next is take row 2 and add row 1. I'm doing this because I want this piece to be 0. So row 1 remains the same. So 15, 0, dash, 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 5. Here, negative 15 plus 15 is 0. 10 plus 0 is still 10. 35 plus 5 will give you 40. And now for the easy part. So I want this piece to be 1. I want this piece to be 1. And so let's do two things. I'm going to take row 1 and I'm going to multiply by 1/15. And with row 2, I'm going to multiply by 1/10. So 15 times 1/15 will get 1. 0 times 1/15 we get 0. Dash, dash, dash. 5 times 1/15 we get 1/3. 0 times a tenth is still 0. 10 times a tenth is 1. 40 divided by 10 is 4. And so finally we're done. So x will correspond to 1/3 and y will correspond to 4. Now we did all this work, so it's a good idea to check our answer. So 6 times 1/3 would give you 2. 2 plus y is 4, so 4. 2 plus 4 is 6, that's correct. Negative 3 times 1/3 is negative 1. Plus 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7, that's correct. And if you want more practice, check out the description box for more videos.